Today, we aren't going to beat around the bush. Look, if you can't beat them, join them. We march to the beat of a different drum. When that beat drops, let us beat a hasty retreat. Okay, I'm done. Let's talk about beets. Most of us think of the dark red, inky specimens when we think about beets, but let's not forget our other options. There are yellow beets, also known as golden beets. These tend to be less sweet than red beets and almost carrot-like in flavor. And there are candy stripe beets, which just look so beautiful with their concentric alternating circles of red and white. Fair warning though, those beautiful concentric circles bleed to an even pink when beets are cooked. And there are even white beets, which honestly to this day I kind of struggle with. I mean, I turn beet red, I struggle with beet stains on my cutting boards, I make beet pickled eggs, I dye my hair with beet juice. I mean, isn't that what beets are all about? But with white beets, it just all goes out the window. Frankly, it's destabilizing. Beets get their color from a class of pigments known as betalains. These compounds are closely related to anthocyanins, which are the purple-blue pigments that give us color in red cabbage and blueberries. Interestingly, the stems of rainbow Swiss chard also get their color from betalains. Even more interestingly, is beet greens are delicious and they can be subbed into any recipe calling for Swiss chard. Beyond betalains, which oddly enough is also the title of my forthcoming memoir, there's a lot of interesting chemistry to report on when it comes to beets. Ask anyone on the street what beets taste like and there's a really high probability that you'll get the adjective earthy. The chemical that gives beets their earthy aroma and flavor is called geosmin. Can you guess where else geosmin is found? That's right, soil. You guys are so smart. You know that unmistakable smell in the air when it rains after a long dry spell? That smell is due to a high concentration of geosmin in that surface soil being forced into the air by crashing raindrops. So if a beet hater, and we all know there are a lot of beet haters out there, tells you they don't like eating beets because they taste like dirt, you can tell them that's largely accurate. But when geosmin finds itself in acidic conditions, it converts to an odorless compound. So think about pickled beets, beets in vinaigrette, you know what I'm talking about. You can control that earthiness. Personally, I love that earthiness. In beets, it's balanced by a luscious sweetness. Beets are jam-packed with sugar. The kind that we cook with and eat are on par sweetness-wise with apples. And sugar beets, which are a major source of sugar production here in the US, contain about 20% sucrose by weight. That beats out sugarcane. But no matter what you think of beets, their earthiness, their sweetness, how creepy the white ones are, there's one thing that we can all agree on. Beets take a really long time to cook. Think about it. Can you name another vegetable about the size of a baseball that you wrap in foil, throw in a hot oven, and roast for an hour just to tenderize it? Now, if you're yelling at your screen right now, yeah, baked potatoes, first off, please don't yell at me. I wouldn't do that to you. I just wouldn't do that. But look, the difference here is even after an hour, sure, the beet is tender, but it's still firm. It has almost a crisp texture, whereas the potato is just falling apart. That kind of feat is made possible by a high concentration of phenolic compounds, which strengthen the cell walls in beets and make them particularly heat stable. And if we're talking about heat, and you can't stand the heat, then you better get out of the kitchen. Guys, this isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work. Because I have to go to the kitchen, right? Not out of it, that's how the show works. I always go to the kitchen.
Yeah, you wrote that.
Yeah, I know I wrote it. You don't have to remind me of that. Let's go to the kitchen. First, let's whip up a batch of pickled beets. This is a recipe by beet hater Sasha Marks, and it takes advantage of the wonderful bacteria that give us half-sour pickles and fermented hot sauce. You've seen the hot sauce episode, right? No? We just sliced some gorgeous red beets on a mandolin, nice and thin, combined with a brine, and let it sit for about a week. The beets emerge crisp, tangy, and delicious, a far cry from the weird jarred pickled beets that everyone is afraid of. The beets are awesome, on salads, sandwiches, you name it. But the beet pickling liquid is just as valuable. One crazy use for it, this Campari and orange juice infused granita. If you find Campari too bitter and you're not a big beet fan, this is not the recipe for you. But if, like me, you like kicking back in the middle of a long workday with a Negroni, you need this recipe. And if you're looking to blow some minds at your next dinner party, you absolutely need this beet and buttermilk panna cotta with black sesame brittle. The sweetness of the beets and the tanginess of the buttermilk work together to create something truly special. But I can hear some of you saying, whoa, slow down, Danny boy. I'm just here for my beet salad with goat cheese. Whatever happened to that? Don't worry, I'm here for that too, but we can do it better than before. Most of the time, we cook our beets whole, and then do all of our peeling and cutting afterwards. But we can actually speed up cooking time considerably if we do our peeling and cutting first, like we do with most other vegetables. Beets can stain everything, so if you have gloves, it's helpful to wear them here, or just let your hands get pink. Just peel, cut, toss with water and salt, and microwave covered until tender. That took just 20 minutes. Take that, phenolic compounds. While those little jewels cool, we'll make a creamy component for the salad with goat cheese, chives, lemon, and a little caraway. Nice. And we'll lightly dress some arugula and our beets, and we'll plate it up just like this. Man, this is almost too pretty to eat. I said almost. This is how to eat beets. Hey, it's Valentine's Day, and instead of chocolate this year, show the person you really love what you actually think about them. Make them something with beets, right? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Amazing.